winner of the New Jersey Press Association's Most Innovative Award.
Welcome back to Greater Media Broadcast News. I'm Susie Shea, bringing you the top headlines in Central Jersey. Here's what's going on in your neighborhood. College controversy, family fire, immigration forum, screen time for South River, and the interview. It may be winter break, but some employees of Brookdale Community College are using the time to make their voices heard after a plan to cut staff was approved earlier this month. Members of the Brookdale Faculty Association told the Monmouth County Freeholders that they have no faith in the school's plan to reorganize staffing and eliminate 47 jobs. Brookdale's Board of Trustees voted in December to approve the cuts in an effort to close a deficit of $5.5 million. And faculty members presented the freeholders with a list of demands that included a detailed financial account of the school's reorganization plan and information about how the school will function after it takes effect. For more on this story, see this week's editions of The Independent. And here's Mark Rosman with more headlines.
2 local school superintendents participated in the recent Connected to the Future initiative that was held at the White House in Washington, D.C. The White House and the U.S. Department of Education selected Charles Sampson, the superintendent of the Freehold Regional High School District, and Ross Kaysen, the superintendent of the Freehold Township School District, to participate in the conference. Sampson and Kaysen joined more than 100 school district leaders from across the United States who were recognized for their leadership in helping to transition their districts to digital learning. The educators shared promising approaches for using technology to impact teaching and learning. The goal of the $4 billion initiative is to connect 99% of America's students to high-speed internet and to empower teachers with the technology they need to transform teaching and learning. Sampson and Kaysen have supported these goals. Both men arrived in their respective districts in 2011. For more about the superintendent's participation in the event in Washington, see this week's news transcript.
The state is requesting more funds to support Sandy recovery efforts. How much are they asking for? Brian Donahue has the answer.
New Jersey officials are requesting more than $500 million in federal recovery funds to help the many families who remain displaced by Sandy. Governor Chris Christie said this third round of funding is needed to continue repairing and replacing housing damaged in the 2012 storm. The state seeks $215 million to restore multifamily housing and another $225 million for a program that awards grants to Sandy-impacted homeowners. Some 8,800 homes have been approved for the state reconstruction program, but as of December, only 2,700 had entered the construction phase.
And here are the headlines you need to know. The National Park Service is looking for businesses and organizations to move into Fort Hancock. 6 buildings will be available in the initial phase of an effort to rehabilitate the fort. 6 members of the DeSarno family were injured after a fire ripped through their Sayreville home on Monday morning. Residents were found calling for help from the roof or lying on the front lawn, having been injured after jumping from the building. An investigation is ongoing. Members of the South Asian community discussed the impact of immigration reforms during a recent forum. The Indian Business Association explained President Obama's new immigration initiatives and how it affects local residents. South River has been getting some serious screen time. A short film called What's in a Name and a feature film titled Sycamore will include shots of the borough. For more on these productions and why South River was chosen as a location, see your Greater Media newspaper today. And here's Mike Pavlichko of Greater Media's WCTC with an update on Rutgers football. After that, we have Tim Morris with more on local sports.
Well, Rutgers football season is behind us, and time to take stock of RU following year 1 in the Big Ten. And the verdict? Not too shabby. Rutgers finished its initial season in the Big Ten with an 8-5 record, including home wins over Michigan and Indiana, and an amazing come-from-behind road win in the regular season finale at Maryland. It included a thriller and a shootout in the opener at Washington, and a good road win against a tough Navy team the week after a heartbreaking loss to Penn State at home. And most recently, a thoroughly dominating performance in the Quick Lane Bowl in Detroit, beating North Carolina of the ACC. There was more good news after that game, too. Wide receiver Leonte Carew announcing he'll come back for his senior season and not enter the NFL draft. That's big with a looming quarterback battle in the spring between Chris Leviano and LSU transfer Hayden Reddick. Now the question is, will offensive coordinator Ralph Friedgen be back? He's under contract for one more year, but you never know these days. He certainly wasn't used to losing games in big fashion like RU did a couple times this season, but boy, he certainly had fun beating his alma mater, Maryland. So in the end, the season beat all outside expectations for Rutgers. No one expected them to do much in making the big jump to the Big Ten this year. I even figured they'd go 6-6. They won 8 games. Few thought they would even win 6. Few thought they'd go to a bowl. They did all of that, going to a bowl game for the 9th time in 10 seasons. Now the question is, what does Rutgers do for an encore? I'm Mike Pavlichko on 1450 WCTC and WCTCAM.com.
It was just the opening week of the season, but it was not too early for the Howell High School wrestling team to deliver a message to the rest of the state when the Rebels defeated perennial state power Phillipsburg before a frenzied SRO crowd in Howell. The Rebels reaffirmed that they belong in the same company as the state's best team with their 27-24 triumph. Bonus points are a big factor behind Howell's win, and here Nick Siakia has his state-liner foe on his back for the longest of times. Although he couldn't finish this hold off with a pinfall, he picked up extra team points with his major decision triumph in this 126-pound match. In his 126-pound match, Anthony Gagliano used persistence to score a pair of takedowns. The takedowns helped the Rebel score another major decision triumph, as Howell dominated the middleweights en route to the huge upset. Chris Lindemann rallied in the final seconds to win his important match at 138 and keep the momentum going for the Rebels. It was Austin Silverstein who scored what proved to be the winning points when he won by a decision in his 182-pound match. His victory gave Howell a 27-15 lead, and they held off the state liners from there. This is Tim Morris for Greater Media Newspapers.
And here's Jeremy Grossman on how Central Jersey residents are reacting to the Sony hacks and the subsequent release of The Interview.
In what might go down as one of the most controversial films ever made, The Interview was screened at the Middlebrook Galleria Cinema in Ocean Township during the week of Christmas. On December 23rd, the film's official Facebook page announced the select theaters that would be playing the film. Only 6 theaters in New Jersey were slated to screen The Interview, with the Ocean Township Cinema being the only one in the Central and South Jersey area. The Interview, which tells the story of an assassination attempt on Kim Jong-un, the dictator of North Korea, was pulled from major theater chains when a group of hackers protesting the film threatened a 9/11-level attack on theaters showing the movie. Regardless, moviegoers celebrated their patriotism and came to Ocean Township from all throughout the state in order to enjoy the film. "How dare you tell Americans what they can and can't do," said Barnegat resident Susan Ross, who traveled an hour to see the film. To learn more about moviegoers' response to The Interview, as well as the response from the theater manager, visit gmnews.com.
The snow has yet to arrive, but Kayla Marsh has a scoop on the fun activities available if Jack Frost finally pays a visit.
When the snow begins to fall in the coming months, residents will break out their sleds and head to their local parks in Middlesex, Ocean, and Monmouth counties for some sledding fun. In Middlesex County, Thompson Park in Monroe Township and Donaldson Park and Highland Park are the only 2 parks in the county park system where sledding is officially permitted, and they remain open until March, weather permitting. In Ocean County, while the terrain is not the greatest for sledding, Ocean County Park in Lakewood does lend itself to some downhill fun. In Monmouth County, Homedale Park is the place to be for the sledding season. The park is open from 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. Sunday to Thursday, and 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. Friday and Saturday. For more information on where to go sledding this holiday season, please check out this week's Independent newspaper.
For more in-depth coverage and additional stories, see your Greater Media newspaper today. Keep up with the latest headlines at facebook.com/Greater Media Broadcast News. I'm Susie Shea, and from all of us at Greater Media, have a happy new year.